Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Sharma, and today me and my co-team members will explain you about our group project. Power. Power is the ability to make someone to do what you want them to do, or the ability to get things done in a manner what you want them to do. So it can be anything like teacher assigning grade or employee giving work to their subordinates. It can be used both ways, positively and negatively. Positively, it can promote the organizational growth as tasks can be effectively managed and achieved properly, while other can also misuse it and cause many obstacles like autocracy or corruption. Let's talk about conformity. Conformity is the people tendency to behave or to indulge in any social norm, like facing door side in a lift or being quiet in public washrooms. So what are social norms? These are just some unwritten rules which provide us an expected idea so how to behave in a group. As you can see in this picture, they're just following each other. They don't know why they're doing, but they're just doing to indulge in a social group. So this is what conformity looks like. Moving to relationship between power and dependency. So what is dependency? It is a power that a person gains from the ability to handle actual problem facing in the organization. So more the power, higher the dependency of the person. So dependency can be determined through three factors: scarcity, importance, and substitutability. Scarcity, product, like how unique that thing is, and then importance, value of the resource, how much importance does a resource have for us, and substitutability, ability to find other option that work as well as the one. It's like tea and coffee, petrol and diesel. We have earlier talked about powers, so let's move to its types. We have 6 types of power in this textbook. First of all, legitimated power, which comes from one organizational role or position. Like manager have different powers and employees have different powers. So their powers which comes from organizational position or their roles are these powers. Then we have a reward power, which are the ability to grant someone a reward. Let me give you a quick example for this. When I was young, my mother used to cook me my favorite meal whenever I get A grade or B grade. But its opposite is our third power, co-receiver power, which is the ability to take something away or to punish someone. And this has also happened to me because whenever I used to get low grade, then my mother used to just pick my phone or my computer. So this is the power she was using at that time. Next is expert power, that comes from knowledge and skills. Like you have also listened that the person is expert in that field, so they have that power, they have that specific skills which require them to do task more easily in that field. And next we have information power. Expert power and information power may seems pretty similar, but this is not the actual truth. Information power meant to the access to the information. It is not the skill that person have, it is the only access, how many access the person has of the information. And next, moving to referent power. It is the degree to which we like, respect, and want to be like them. It's like charisma. The person you like, you will also follow them. Like leaders, there are many leaders which people like and they can do anything for them. So the leaders have this power. And that's all for. And now my co-team member Sana will explain you about influence.
Hi guys, my name is Hannah, and today for my part of the project, I'm going to be talking about what is influencing. So the first thing that pops into my head when I think of influencing is the idea of the social media stars, Instagram, celebrities in general, and athletes, and how they kind of indirectly influence what we buy, what we wear, and kind of how we act and look. However, influencing the workplace is a bit more broad. It's less of your outside appearance and more so of what you're doing and how people are trying to get you to go on board for what they want. So the definition of influence is being able to persuade someone to do something. It can be a change in their behavior, character, or even a way of thinking. So it doesn't have to be direct. So it's not like where you physically force someone to do something. It's more over indirect. So let's say you hold a position over somebody as a manager, and that influences them to do something you tell them to do. So that would be like an influencing trait as well, which I'm going to be talking in the next slide. So here, this table I derived from the textbook. The stats are just like a workplace where it shows the frequency of use of each trait, going from rational persuasion, legitimating, personal appeals, exchange, ingratiation, pressure, coalitions, inspirational appeals, and consultation. So as you can see here, rational persuasion has the highest frequency of use, and that makes sense because considering rational persuasion is the use of data, information, and statistics to get somebody to go on board with whatever you want. Trying to show them reasoning, rational reasoning. That's how. That's mostly the most common and most smartest way to get somebody to do something because we're easily persuaded by facts rather than just opinions and thoughts. So with influencing traits, there are three little reactions that follow. So there's resistance, which is where you're not on board and you do not agree with what the influencer is saying. There's compliance, which means you do what has to be done, more so probably because of the position they hold over you, such as like a hierarchy effect. Like if you're a parent and like your parents tell you to do chores, and obviously because you're the kid, you have to listen because of the power they hold over you, and mostly because of pressure, where you feel threatened that's something might happen to your job. The last one is commitment, where you are on board and you are okay with the influencer is saying. So mostly that's like a positive reaction towards the towards the influencer. If you can see here, pressure, it has like 6% frequency rate, which is quite low, and it makes sense considering how pressure is, again, the threat towards one's job or to their well-being, something where you feel that you have to do something because of what the person holds over you. Commitment rate is 3% as well, so not a lot of people are happy with pressure. So it would not be the best trait to use in a workforce, hence why it's so low. So the next slide, I just have a few examples of the influencing traits. So the first one is pressure. This is an example that I had in my workforce. So when I worked as a closing manager, there would be a time where the manager above me would tell an employee to do the washrooms or something when there was a mishap, and then they did the washrooms. They didn't have to do the washrooms because employees can easily say no. However, they felt pressure to do it because they felt that the following week their hours might get cut, something might happen to their job, they would get in trouble. I've talked to the employees and I've asked them why they would go along with what the manager said, and that was what they told me. So in my experience, I wouldn't do that. However, they felt pressured to listen to the manager and do what was being told of them. Second one is rational persuasion. So this example is you present a series of information on a recent sales for your department about how certain coupons for a market segment is increasing revenue. However, you're arguing to your boss that if these coupons are kept for the market segment, it will continue to raise revenue. And you're arguing this because your boss is thinking of cutting these coupons out. However, you're trying to let them know that keeping these will help increase profit. Yeah, you're showing stats, information, and data to get them to go along with what you want. Coalition tactics is mostly just working in a group towards a common goal, such as a union. The example I use here is you and your team have to finish several orders on time, and therefore you motivate them to strive towards achieving the common goal. You work together more so to complete the task than anything else. You're not going in there to be best friends. You're going in there to achieve that common goal you have. So this was my brief little PowerPoint on influencing. The next slide is just the last one, just a quick pop quiz, and then after that we'll move on to the next section. So pressure is the most commonly used influencing trait in the workforce. It has over 50% of commitment. True or false? That is false. As I stated earlier, pressure has a frequency of only 6% and a commitment rate of 3%. So thank you for listening to my little presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it and are looking forward to the next section.
Hello, my name is Kurtosh Singh. Now I'm going to talk about impression management. What is impression management? Impression management is actively shaping the way we are perceived by others. It is categorized in three categories. First is verbal, second is non-verbal, third is behavioral. Verbal impression management is the one in which you use your tone of voice, rate of speech and your words to send a different message than what you actually are. Non-verbal is the one in which you use your body language, your facial expressions and clothing to describe to send a different message. Behavior impression management is how you interact with others, and through that you send a different message. Let's see some case scenarios. Oliver is a shy person. He is usually quiet and doesn't talk a lot. However, on the first day of his job, he converses with many of his co-workers with confidence because he does not want them to think he's shy or quiet. He fears if he did not portray himself as such, his co-workers would not take of him and think he's not fit for the job. Here the person is using verbal impression management because it is related to talking, the verbal thing. Second, Bella wears the office dress on the first day of work. She prefers dress pants, dress shirt. However, she noticed the female during her interview wearing dresses and she felt would not fit in. She also styles hair up in a tight bun to showcase her professional demeanor. Now she's using non-verbal because in it now she's using her pants and dress, her clothing to send a different message. About the direction of influence. The direction of influence flows in three directions: upward, downward, and peer influence. In upward influence, we try to influence the person who is higher in the position than ours. Could be our bosses, CEO, and any person. We try them to follow our goals. In downward influence, we try to influence the person who is lower than our rank. In peer influence, we try to influence the person who is on the same level as our, could be our friends or could be co-workers. This helps in promoting our growth and support each other.
Hi everyone, my name is Imandip Singh and I will discuss about social networks. So basically, social networks are the visual maps of relationships between the individuals, how people interact and react with others within their network or within their communication. There are three important functions of social network. Number one is it helps in delivering the private information. Number two, allow individuals to gain access to the diverse skill sets. Number three, they helps in creating power. So now we will talk about social network analysis. The social network analysis is a systematic effort to examine the structure of social relationships in a group. The main purpose is to uncover the informal connections between people. There are two ways of conducting the social network analysis. Number one is direct way. Number two is indirect way. In indirect way, they just analyze the emails or any other mode of communication between people. For example, which person email others and how often he email or communicate with other and who replies to whom. There is also another technique in indirect way in which they just observe people to see which person talks to whom and who approaches to whom for what. While on the other hand, direct approach of conducting the social network analysis is just doing the survey by asking them questions directly. The direct approach is likely to be more targeted because there is face to face communication between them, and we can know more about that from others. But some people may see it as an unwanted intention.
Hello friends, my name is Mananjan and today I will discuss about organization politics. So what is organization politics? Accord- um, According to Jeffrey P. Pfeffer, organization politics involves those activities by organization to acquire, develop, and use power and other resources to obtain one's preferred outcomes in a situation in which there is uncertainty or dissent about choices. So political tactics in organizational behavior are attacking or blaming others, creating a favorable image, developing a base of support, inspiration, inspirational appeal, consultation, exchange, and etc. etc. So all this happened to gain good image in front of the manager so that they can be promoted to higher level. So why do politics exist? Organizations are made up of people with different values, goals, and interests. Resources are limited, which cause action to resolve the shortage, resulting in conflict. The less trust there is in organization, the more politics. Unclear performance also promote politics. So next we move on to factor influencing political behavior. There are two factors. One is individual and other is organizational. So the individual is high self-monitors, internal locus of control, high mass, organizational investment, received job alternatives, and exceptional of success. Expectations of success. Sorry about that. And the organization factors are reallocation of resources, promotion opportunity, low trust, role ambiguity, unclear performance evaluation, and self-serving senior manager. So due to political behavior, there are favorable outcomes too, which are rewards or adverted punishment. The bottom line, managing organizational politics effectively. There are 7 steps which are learn the culture and the rules of the game or success in the organization. The second one is establish credibility and the overall positive impression in the eyes of other in the organization. The third one is build a base of support of networking, forming alliance, etc. with key players. The fourth one is create and implement formal and clear politics, procedures, etc. to reduce ambiguity. Be open and visible with employees when dealing with key issues that affect them. Next one is act in a ways consistent with what is verbally communicated to employees. And the last one is use defensive behavior as protection against dirty political player in the organization. Thank you, and that's all about organization politics. Any question?